In the last episode of American Artifact, we were showing some items here at the Gettysburg Museum of History from the Second World War that have kind of a unique artistic flair to them. Well, there was way too much to put in that episode, so in this episode we are showing even more unique artifacts, specifically weapons that had some pretty unique artistic expressions applied to them.
So on the last episode of American Artifact, we were in the Gettysburg Museum of History office again, and we were talking about GI art, and we focused on helmets and armbands and some other pretty interesting items, but we decided to save this part for its own video, and this is basically artwork that has to do with weapons. And I believe one of the most fascinating forms of GI art is what we now call sweetheart grips, and that takes the form of handle or pistol grips or knife grips. Now, plastic or plexiglass was new in World War II, or fairly new, and most American soldiers were probably seeing it for the first time, and I believe they became fascinated with it. The fact that you could cut it and polish it and shape it, and it wouldn't break into a million pieces like the glass they were used to seeing. So what they began doing was taking downed aircraft glass, and plexiglass that is, and cutting it out and putting pictures behind it for pistol handles. And these became known as sweetheart grips because they usually featured their girlfriend or sometimes a wife or a pinup. Once in a while you'll see another form of it. Here's one. This is a Japanese Nambu pistol. So this is actually from the Pacific Theater, and this is a C-47 aircraft, I believe. And I like to think this may have been from a paratrooper, 11th Airborne, but we have no way of really knowing because there's no history. Now I'm going to show you the other side real quick. The soldier, either the picture fell out or he left it blank, because you can also see into the magazine there. You can get a shell count, I guess, with the Japanese Nambu. I think you can see through there. But I believe they were fascinated by it, and I have an account, or actually an interview with Denver Bull Randleman from Easy Company. You know, we have Dick Winter's files here from Easy Company, Band of Brothers. And when he was in Normandy, he picked up a piece of plexiglass from a downed aircraft, and he had it in his musette bag. And I believe we talked about this before, but it actually helped save his life because he had a bunch of stuff in his musette bag in his back, and he got hit in the back, and between what was rolled up in there, and he had a poncho or something, and the piece of plexiglass that stopped the bullet, but he said he felt like he got hit by a bat. And this interview was actually conducted by Major Dick Winters, and he asked him, what were you going to do with that piece of plastic? And he said, I don't know, maybe make something out of it. So you see a lot of this. Sweetheart grips are really interesting. Unfortunately, a lot of times they got taken off after World War II, so sometimes it's kind of hard to find originals. But the captured weapons that the soldiers brought home usually had a holster as well. And they started decorating the holsters with captured German insignia. Here's a little shoulder rig that has some Panzer skulls on it. These are very, very random. They would do different interesting configurations. Usually it's very, very random. Here's another one that has a cap eagle and some other small insignia. But yeah, they would just decorate their captured weapons with whatever they would find.
Here are a few more holsters from the collection here at the museum that have been kind of dressed up by the soldiers who captured them. So here you can see on this holster right here, well, here is a cap eagle from a veterans organization. This one has a Luftwaffe eagle on it. And then this one is definitely unique. So this is a cap badge from the police organization. And this one also has some stars on here. So I would rather doubt that it was a 4-star general who had this. I think somebody was just trying to be funny. And then here you can see this U.S. pin here as well. But yeah, very interesting to see what soldiers did with these things.
I'm going to go over a few other sweetheart grips and in the form of knives. We're going to start with this. This is a Navy fighting knife. Now the original grips have been taken off, and he has the soldier who had this placed stacked pieces of plexi and made a new grip for it and put what I would assume would be his wife in there. And if you turn it around, he put his name, and you can see the stacked plexi a lot better on this. Again, you know, it was fascinating to them. They could see through it, they could work with it, and make things out of it. And this is a U.S. Navy fighting knife. It's named. And then they would sometimes take captured enemy knives, such as this. This is a German bayonet. And again, it has the plexi grips. And he has put a German eagle in there. And then on the other side, another German eagle. And just decorated it, I believe, with whatever they had. So these are Hitler Youth knives. Now these also have plexi grips on them that was replaced. The normal Hitler Youth knife would have a black checkered plastic grip, but they retained the German insignia on there. And then this guy didn't want anybody taking his knife, so he put his name on there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And here's another example of a German Hitler Youth knife that has been decorated with the plexi grips. Again, it retains the original Hitler Youth insignia, which is some decoration underneath. But then on the other side, it has a sweetheart there. I assume his wife or girlfriend.
I don't know. On a Hitler Youth knife, maybe that was his ex-girlfriend.
Maybe so. And some of them weren't plexi. I mean, soldiers decorated weapons and knives with just painting. This guy painted his name, carved his initials, CB, C. Brady, on the handle, and has his name here, and also painted a German soldier on there, like a cartoon of a German soldier. I think that's really interesting, like interesting font. But this is a standard U.S. bayonet. It's an early model, cut down. And not only Americans did stuff like this. This is the one piece that was actually decorated by an Axis soldier. This was done by an Italian. This is an Italian fighting knife. It's got the fascist symbol here, but he did some very intricate carving on this handle. See, it says Ducci, and some of the other information there, and really, really, really fine carving. And you know, whoever did this was obviously very talented and has some letters along there. But this is a Italian fascist fighting knife, and I've never seen one like this. We recently got this, and very happy to get it. We don't have a lot of Italian items in the collection, just a few weapons and a few other things. But this was just so interesting, we couldn't pass it up.